Well, aside from the two-factor authentication requirements that we have, as far as having access to HIPAA-protected data, there's also the risk engine that it helps us, evaluate different things like, when's the last time and location that a person accessed that data. It's infeasible for, with a time and place thing. They can't have been in Dallas at 3 o'clock and then in, Florida at 3:30. And say, yeah, it's the same person accessing that data. It'll help us, say, hey, maybe we need to reevaluate and see if that's really the same person. We try to make sure that our customers only use one device to access that data from, preferably their work device. We don't really want them accessing that stuff from their home PCs and potentially exposing that data to other places. So we'll use device fingerprinting as well to make sure that we are getting them on just that one device and not letting them proliferate on other devices we wouldn't like. It allows us to assure our customers that we are protecting their data, so we do deal with a lot of other folks' data. They'll have contractual and as well as federal requirements to protect that. It's just another tool in our toolbox to make our that happens. The solution itself is pretty stable. We are working with the teams to get new functionality to help some of our more recent challenges. Different customers and applications that we develop are wanting to use that data in different ways, and so sometimes it becomes a challenge to integrate them into our existing tool set. But CA has been pretty good about working with us to make sure we have the right resources and expertise to customize our tools if we need to, or help us with something new. It's really good. They make sure that if we are having a challenge with a issue that is taking too long, for instance, doing what they need to do to, okay, do we need to get more people to understand the problem? Do we need to start having, regular sessions, work sessions, whether it's a WebEx or what have you, to see, real time what we're seeing, so they can better understand what issue we're having so they can address it and get us back to where we need to be. If we're not using the right product or we need to use something else, they're usually really good about say, hey, well, we have this offering that'll maybe work a little bit better for what you're trying to do. Or, for example, if we're doing stuff, with your traditional data centers versus doing things in the cloud, sometimes the same methods and patterns you would use in one place don't really translate to the other, and so, and if you try to force it, then it doesn't scale well. So then that's where they would come in and help us with something different. Sometimes getting the thing set up does take a bit longer. It's not always, install, next, finish. We have so many requirements that we're trying to meet, again, either from contractual or federal standpoint, that we're not always the easiest to configure for. We have a lot of special cases, and we'll present a lot of challenges to them that, again, they'll help us like, well, okay, to do this, you're going to need this, this, and this, and this. And again, help us get all the right pieces in place wherever they need to be, working the way they need to, and deployed. That particular one, probably a 10. It does what we really need to do. If you just need basic two-factor, obviously it fits the bill. Where we get our value from is from the risk evaluation and those additional protections. Make sure you have all your requirements identified, and really think about what you're trying to accomplish. A lot of times we'll have a problem and we'll already have a solution in mind, right? And how do we make this fit this? Versus, well, what do we actually need to get done? And, build all that out first. Then talk to your support team, like, well, here's what we're trying to do. And then maybe get their feedback, because sometimes they'll have a different idea of what you should be doing with your portfolio. And instead of trying to, well, I got this square peg here, and this is kind of roundish, but I think I can actually hit it hard enough, I can make it work. They may have something that's a little rounder for you, and give you some of the same things that you're trying to look for.